If you are sitting on the fence, you will not get much help, but when you straighten up your spine and say, "Mighty I am presence. I am 100% or 1000% with you. Release your mighty powers into action to free me and my world," do you think for one moment that its energy will not come forth? Let me tell you it will, and with no uncertainty. But if there is wavering in your consciousness and doubt, do you not see that is requalifying the energy, and it cannot do for you what it should and what you would like to have it do? Now many times those things are acting in the feeling of mankind, mostly unconsciously. The individual is not outwardly aware of it, but if you will call your presence into action, it will correct the condition. I say to those who have been here for the first time, it does not matter what your doubts might be, if you would call your presence into action 3 times daily, earnestly, for 5 minutes. Inside of 10 days you would have the evidence in your own experience so strong that nothing could turn you aside. The condition is, owing to the mass creation about mankind, that those who are not anchored, unknowingly listen. 54. To the faucet about them, which even turns them temporarily aside. Will you not explain this, oh, precious students, to those you contact who are partially interested? Because mankind does not understand the laws and forces acting upon them, they are often deprived of the great freedom, joy, and blessing which is waiting for them. The radiance in the class has surpassed anything so far, and I want you precious ones to know that. In the fullness of my love I say to you, if you wish us to come twice a year, this year and next, we will come to you. I say for your blessing and freedom, do not be worried about anything injuring this work. All the vicious gossip there is, does not amount to anything. Those unfortunate individuals are but destroying themselves. They are not injuring you or this work, they cannot do it. But the pitiful thing is that they still think they can. I want to say to our blessed friends, the Christian Scientists, in their churches, I am amazed that people who pretend to pour forth love, would turn in viciousness against this love, this radiation of the light and the understanding of the mighty I am presence, which is the source of all life. This is the first time I have spoken my opinion, but I say today, and you may carry my word to them, it is pitiful. I tell you frankly, and you may carry this to all Christian Science churches throughout America and the world, unless they stop that, they will destroy every church and its attendance which they now have. I say this in all love and kindness. I wish to stop such a thing coming on, for great good has been accomplished through Christian Science, but I tell you frankly, every source, whether it is Unity, Christian Science, or whatever it is, that attempts to bring disgrace upon this work or condemns or criticizes it, will fail utterly and their churches will be empty till this work opposes nothing in the world. It goes on presenting this wondrous presence, the mighty I am, which every human being on earth should be delighted to know about and understand, and because they have allowed suggestions to enter their ranks and fear that this would empty their churches, they have turned in many instances in vicious hatred to the messengers and this work. God alone pity Themal Unity has done the same thing, through the claw of the sinister force which has entered into their heart center. I say this to you in all kindness, dear hearts. Watch every source that has presented some part of the truth which condemns this work, will fail utterly, because the messengers have never condemned any activity and never shall. They have presented this mighty law of the I am presence in their humble kindness, and if people do not wish to come into this mighty truth of the I am, they 56 ascended should not condemn it. I stated in the shrine class that the messengers have carried forth bravely thus far and, by their powerful, dynamic application, have held their own protection and carried the work forth. Now then, we shall fight their battles and they shall hold their peace. I marvel at the individuals among mankind who are too stubborn to believe the mighty truths recorded in Unveiled Mysteries, and the magic presence. We never, an ascended being will never, use a destructive force, but mark what I tell you, as described in Unveiled Mysteries, the mighty host of ascended masters draw the wall of light, and when the viciousness of the individual strikes it, their own viciousness rebounds upon them and they must handle it, if they can. That is the law of everyone's being. We do not wish to harm anyone, but we shall not allow the messengers to be harmed, nor this work when those within humanity have been willingly strong enough to carry forth to a certain point, then the great law sweeps in and takes a hand. So I say to you, precious ones, we love the Christian Scientists, we love all unity, we love all mankind, but the viciousness that comes in their ranks shall not harm these loved ones. Neither shall it harm the students of the light. I say to you, beloved Cora Wickham, here in San Francisco, my hand is in yours for your firm, unyielding stand in bringing the light of the mighty I Am Presence to your friends, the Christian Scientists. One day you will not be able to care for them all, so many will come. Your loving heart and kindness will render a transcendent service and are rendering it. Every blessed one of the students here and group leaders, I enfold you in my love, but do not feel inharmonious to each other. Whenever a feeling of discord or inharmony comes from one student to another or from one group to the other, remember, you can always know instantly it is but a claw of the sinister force driving in, trying to destroy the great good you are doing. Now you will notice, precious ones, the messengers fear nothing. They are wholly unconcerned about all this silly criticism and falsehood, which is spread by individuals because they are not permitted to drive into this heart center of light. I want you to understand here in San Francisco, you blessed ones, that we are back of you, the great host of ascended masters, and one day, you will know that we are even more real than you are. One day you will know that we are not an imagination of this good brother. You will find that we are very real, and we can be very tangible, but yet still invisible. Do not forget that some of these people who have tried to claim and prove discrepancies in those marvelous books will one day cry out for mercy. Mark what I tell you. We bide 58 ascend our time, but mark what I tell you. We spread it to the world, no person, place, or thing shall ever harm or destroy this work. It shall go on, until every one of mankind knows this mighty I Am Presence, and through it, all have their freedom. I say this to you tonight for your strength, courage, power, and freedom. To us, the silly falsehood, condemnation, and criticism is silly nonsense and has no power. Remember, precious ones. To every appearance that is less than the perfection of the presence, say, you have no power. Mean it in your feelings, and you will have no trouble entering your world or disturbing you. It is true, absolutely true, the appearances or discordant forces in mankind have no power, except the thought and feeling which goes into them and feeds them with the life of the individual. Look, precious ones, in your recent airplane accidents. Do you not see that from everything which has such an appearance, a momentum goes forth? If it had not been for the decrees which the blessed students of America have given, that thing would have gained a momentum, until a dozen or more planes would have been destroyed. The sinister force wants just such a thing to start so mankind may not be in close contact. I thank the messengers and the students for issuing the decrees to protect the radio, because there has been a deliberate attempt which would try to interfere with the radio in America and the world. But it shall not do it. I tell you, my precious ones, in your mighty decrees giving this protection for various activities, you are rendering a service that will go down through eternity. Then one day, when you are farther progressed in your life, you will see the service rendered and the great intense protection which has been given America and the great industries. Precious ones, you have no idea how those marvelous decrees have gone forth to solve these conditions of strikes throughout America. Go on with your decrees. Call the mighty presence into action, that they may never have another strike. Call divine justice to take place between the men and capital, between so-called labor and capital. There is no labor. There is only one thing, a divine service. Beloved ones, please feel this in your outer activity of the world, and you will release yourselves from the feeling of labor or bondage. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you are serving this great, I Am Presence, to your freedom. Try to feel this, and let it take from you all feeling of being in the bondage of labor. You heard what Mrs. Ballard, our beloved messenger, read you tonight of my activities, which are rather the directing of great currents of great forces and energy than taking any part in the political activity. So it is. But America shall go forward. All official places shall be filled with the power of divine justice, and great harmonious activity shall enter into 60 ascended master America and hold its dominion here. Mark what I tell you'll do not, I plead with you, longer give power to appearances of anything, whether it is in the government or your individual lives. Say to every appearance, you have no power. Mighty I Am Present, sweep into it. Produce your perfection and hold your dominion there, your mighty directing intelligence.